Hi, hello friend, welcome to a channel. So obviously I don't even really need to go into an introduction here. We know what this video is about. So Natalia Taylor, if you've never heard of her, she is a YouTuber with almost 2 million subscribers. I love her. I've been watching her for probably at least a year, if not more. But yeah, she makes some really great videos about just like her life experiences and things. And usually they're just really interesting to watch. She's a great storyteller. But imagine my surprise the other day when I found this thumbnail from her. I got so excited to hear one of the YouTubers that I watch regularly get into anti-MLM territory. I was elated. This makes me so happy. So yes, I did watch the entire video, and the reason I'm making this video is because I feel like I need to touch on a few points. So let's do that. But I will start by saying, obviously, I get excited in general when people with a bigger platform start talking about multi-level marketing companies, because this is information that needs to get out there, and I am just excited that Natalia decided to step out and tell her story about her experience with Mary Kay. So let's get into it.
I never thought I would be making this video. Once again, I don't have anything written down. I'm just kind of winging it today. But yes, you read the title correctly. I was completely bamboozled by a cosmetics brand.
Okay, what I wanted to start off by saying first is that Mary Kay, it's so crazy to me because, what show is it? It's a Project Runway? I think they had Mary Kay as their like makeup brand that they used for all the runway shows for like multiple seasons. When I came across that, I remember like smacking my husband and being like, what the hell are they doing? Like, I got so mad that a big name, a big like mainstream TV show has the nerve to push a multi-level marketing makeup brand in its audience's face like that without giving a background on what Mary Kay even is. I mean, they make no reference at all to the fact that if you want to buy Mary Kay, you have to buy it through one of their distributors. You can't just go to Sephora. I don't know. That always bothered me, but
making these videos, you guys might not know this, is very stressful. It's scary because they could come for me. They could do anything they want.
I don't think you should be scared about this, Natalia. I do this on my YouTube channel every single day. And as long as you're like sitting here speaking facts, which she's just telling her story and her own experience, yeah, there's nothing to be afraid about. And that's, I think that's a lot of the like resistance to people joining and telling their anti-MLM stories, because not only are they afraid of getting sued, people are scared of it too a lot of the time because they have like friends and family still involved in those companies and they don't want to be shunned, because let's be honest, MLMs are like cults in a lot of different ways. It's like trying to leave Scientology and then still trying to maintain relationships with people who are in Scientology. Like, it just doesn't happen. So I think there are just a lot of people who are scared to step out, you know, and that's why I applaud Natalia for doing this, or anyone else for doing this as well.
Pyramid schemes had basically zero awareness, but now we are living in a completely different time where people actually want to know about this stuff now.
Yes,
so I think I put off telling this story because I didn't think anyone would care.
We
but
don't
now
care.
I am ready to come forward and expose this brand for
Yes.
what they really are and what
Yes.
they did to me and what they did to many other women that I saw deteriorate.
And continue to do to many other women. Speak the truth, honey.
So I'm gonna tell the truth right here
Yes.
on my channel. So
Do
I'm
it.
sure some of you guys have come across these popular videos that have been on the YouTube homepage recently talking about pyramid scheme.
Which is so great. Isn't that great? We're really getting the word out, aren't we? What are we doing? Making waves, babes.
Like I mentioned in a previous video talking about a cult that I was a part of, it's very similar to that, only it's more business oriented.
So this is someone who obviously is not like deep in the anti-MLM world. For her to even be referring to this as a cult, and a pyramid scheme for that matter, but a cult especially, it speaks volumes.
Have you heard this before?
Oh my god, that's a pitch. You know what it's almost like? It's almost like trying to get people to sign up for a raffle in what that woman just said. She's just like, hey, for $100 you can potentially get a free car, which we'll get into the free car thing momentarily because Natalia does hit on it. And maybe she does understand how the free car thing works, but she doesn't express like actual details about it in her video, so I wanted to make sure that that is well known as well, but we'll talk about it later. Either way, that pitch, oh my god, for $100 you can be on your way to a free car. It's like, it really, oh my god, it does not work that way, but okay.
But she started explaining to us if we wanted to be self-employed and make money at home. I mean, who doesn't want to do that? Who doesn't want to work from their house? So of course I was like, yeah, sure. I mean, like, I would like to know more information on how I can be, you know, one of those knock knock Mary Kay calling bitches.
When people are sitting there defending MLMs, a lot of times you hear it all the time. They're like, oh, people don't go into it trying to make a full-time living out of this. But it's like, Natalia has no reason to lie. Every other person who has told their MLM story and experience and stuff, like, they all pretty much talk about the things they've been promised, you know? So it's like, when that is being shoved in your face, like, what do you expect them to expect? You know? Like, if you're gonna sit there and be like, hey, by the way, you can work from home and maybe get a free car. The idea you get in your head is like, I will not have to work my regular job away from home anymore. I will be able to work from home. That's just like the idea it plants in people's head. And she's right. Who doesn't want to do that?
I feel like such a businesswoman. Like, I just made a major power business move for myself and my future.
And I think she said that at the time she signed up, she was 18 years old. And it's like, I'm pretty sure, you know, that's the minimum age you can be for signing up for these companies. Call me old. But when I was 18, I feel like it was like, yeah, I know everything. Being 10 years older than that now, I look at my old 18-year-old self and I'm like, you are a child. You know absolutely nothing. So it's like, it's really predatory to first of all, to let 18-year-olds sign up for this kind of stuff. But I mean, I get that they're legal adults. I get it. But what is that factoid that people always throw around? It's like your brain isn't finished developing until like 25 or something. I don't know. I just don't feel like 18 is an old enough age to be able to like weigh the pros and cons. I don't know if I read it or if it was a YouTube video or what. Maybe it was on like the subreddit or something like that. But I remember reading a story about how someone was like 16 and was following, was it an Arbonne representative? Probably, something like that. And saw her lifestyle, and as a teenager was like, when I turn 18, I'm gonna be like her. And so the day she turned 18, she bought into the company, and surprise, surprise, turns out it wasn't as great as she thought it was gonna be, because, you know, you're presented all these lifestyles and things like that. People who have no life experience, mainly 18-year-olds, yeah, they'll be quick to be like, I want that, without actually being able to be like, well, is this too good to be true? Because most of the time, someone that age has never been through a situation where it's like, oh, this must be too good to be true. They're just little sproutlings in the adult world where people are trying to scam you left and right.
And I had to start going to the Mary Kay weekly meetings. Red flag number 1. I had to pay to go to this meeting. So
that's crazy. First of all, that must be something that is organized by one person and then like everyone who attends is their team. Why would you put a price tag on that? That is so wrong and predatory. I mean, I'll use that word a lot here.
And now they're trying to tell me that I have to spend even more money after I've already signed up because I don't have inventory. Well, they didn't tell me that at the very beginning, that I had to buy inventory. They want me to spend like $2,000 to stock up on inventory. There is a special Mary Kay credit card, okay? You can sign up for the Mary Kay credit card and you can just put it on there and worry about it later.
That's obviously like a giant red flag, and I'm wondering if you sign up for their Mary Kay credit card, if your upline gets like a bonus or something. I mean, you would think, right? Like, there has to be some kind of incentive. I'm realizing now that I really don't know much about Mary Kay. Now, I obviously am educated in how MLMs work in general, and I've always known that Mary Kay was kind of one of the worst ones. But yeah, man, there's a lot here that I don't know. I'm looking for a compensation plan like from Mary Kay, and it's not on Google. Well, this is pretty sketchy. That's it. I'm going straight to the source. About Mary Kay, maybe? Sell Mary Kay? Be a boss, babe! Oh, God. They're just playing right into it. There definitely is not anything on this website here about like their numbers and stuff. They have this stuff about an awesome opportunity, but they want you to sign in before they really give you any information. I think maybe what the incentive is, based on what I'm understanding here, is that perhaps you make a commission off of your team volume, which basically means anytime anyone spends money beneath you or makes sales or anything like that, you'll get a percentage of it. That's including like all the stuff that they buy as physical inventory or something like that. So if you're able to convince someone to open a line of credit, being maybe even like $1,000, let's say, if they spend $1,000, I mean, you're gonna get a bonus off of that. And I think you get more bonuses or higher commissions or something the higher up you are in the company. So yeah, anytime anyone ever places an order, you know, if they have a credit card, they may be more likely to spend more. So maybe that's just the only incentive. Sorry, that was such a stupid tangent. Anyway, I just had to know.
And now I'm really invested, okay? I'm motivated. I really want to sell this makeup now because now I'm in the hole, okay? I'm in debt by a lot.
I'm looking at stuff like this, and it's like, with all the shit that's going on with LuLaRoe right now, with the whole inventory thing and the pyramid schemes and all that, how come Mary Kay isn't like in the same boat? Because if many consultants are having this same experience, that's a lot of people who are inventory loading. And for those of you who do not know, now, and this is not enforced very well, but there is a thing that was part of the 1979 Amway ruling that basically says it's the 70% rule. So if you buy inventory with any of these companies, 70% of that inventory has to be sold every month. That's when you start falling into pyramid scheme territory if that is not happening every single month. Now the problem is that a lot of these companies don't require that you report how much you're selling. And I don't know if Mary Kay is one of these, but, and maybe that's why there's so many failures in Mary Kay. I cannot be sure one way or another because I've never done a deep dive into Mary Kay, but I can imagine it's pretty much that's what's going on here. At least the difference with like LuLaRoe and Mary Kay is that I would assume that Mary Kay, you can purchase the inventory you want, whereas with LuLaRoe, you just buy a box of leggings and hope that they're cute, you know? They'll just send you a random stock, from what I understand. And then it's like harder to sell because you don't know what you're buying, you know?
Essentially, Mary Kay, as a makeup company, will give to you a pink Cadillac vehicle. It's your car, you get to drive it.
That's put very, very simply.
That's pretty freaking motivating if you ask me. I wanted a free car too.
What she just said was Mary Kay will give you a car if you make a certain amount of sales over a certain amount of time. Now, if you've never heard of how these car bonuses work with MLMs, sit down. Let me tell you a little something. So yeah, they like to push this idea on you like, hey, it's a free car. What's really happening is that they're giving you a cash bonus that is highly encouraged to be put towards a car because it is a material representation of how successful you're doing in the Mary Kay business. First of all, not very many people ever make it to the rank in which you're going to get a car. Sorry, excuse me, my cat. You cannot make the rank to get to these card bonuses without like recruiting people and all that. This does not involve Mary Kay putting their name on a car loan or lease for you. What this means is that you take that cash bonus to a dealership, but there are other cars like beneath the pink Cadillac that it looks like you can qualify for at lower ranks. Either way, it's still a pretty high rank in order to get there. But yeah, so you get your car, and if you do not maintain your rank, the cash bonus goes bye-bye. And I don't even want to think about how expensive it is to own a pink Cadillac if you are not getting the cash bonus for it. But basically, if you don't maintain your rank, Mary Kay stops giving you the cash bonus, meaning you're stuck making those payments yourself, or it gets repoed pretty much. It's a very predatory tactic, and it's not a free car. They don't just give you a car. They don't just pay for it outright and give it to you. They do not do that. And they like to use this as a recruiting technique because who doesn't want a free car? And you always hear them like, does your job give you a free car? And it's like, but it's not a free car. Anyway, that's a very important point I wanted to make while I was recording this video here, because the car situation is a very common misconception with MLMs.
I'm super worried I'm not going to be able to get the free car because I've worked really hard the past 2 months. I've made all the sales that I needed to make, and this month I'm kind of struggling. And you know what this bitch tells me? You know, there is another way. Another way, excuse me?
You can purchase all of the sales yourself and put them on your Mary Kay credit card.
This is called bonus buying. And every time I bring it up, there's always a hun somewhere who's like, nobody does that. You're not allowed to do that. It's illegal. Well, MLMs do shit and they cover shit up that they're not supposed to do all the time. Just because you're not supposed to do it, just because the terms and conditions in your company's policies say that you can't do it, doesn't mean that people don't do it. When I was with Lime Life, this was kind of a thing, but they disguised it as like, oh, you gotta buy stuff for your kit because they wanted you to build a makeup kit. They were like, hey, you know, if you make this $300 purchase, you'll be considered active. But yeah, if I made those purchases myself, it would also count towards being active. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you see this in every MLM. There are always going to be people who, you know, I need that rank advancement, but I'm about $100 away, so I guess I'll just make the last purchase to get me there, or something like that. You know, people do it all the time. They can say that they don't, but they do.
Yes, you're probably looking at me like I'm a freaking idiot because I was. I fell for it. I did it.
It's all right. So many people fall for it too because we all just want to believe in something better for us. And when you see someone standing in front of you saying, look at how successful I am and I'll mentor you and blah, blah, it's like, yeah, it's like, this is a physical, tangible person that I know who is willing to help me. It's all part of the recruiting. Yeah. I mean, yeah. And I'm just sitting here, like, when I hear this kind of stuff, I'm like, how is Mary Kay not being brought down yet? Because everything that everyone is saying right now is literally, like, absolutely illegal that the FTC could easily fine them for. But yeah, there has to be a way that they're getting around it. You know, if this is really what's going on, and I guarantee it is, something needs to be done. Like, Mary Kay needs to be brought down, man.
And the worst part is, I had people in my life that cared about me telling me that something was wrong. They were like, yo, Natalia, you need to stop with this Mary Kay thing. It's like making you very angry and you're digging yourself into debt. And I would just like deny them. I was that brainwashed.
It's crazy to hear people admit this because it's true that they literally indoctrinate you like they do in cults. I get a lot of messages from you guys on Instagram, anywhere really, asking me like, hey, I know somebody who's involved in an MLM. Do you have any advice on how to get them out? And I always link an article to them, the same article. I'll link it down below too, so you guys can send it to whoever you feel needs to see it. It is a Vice article that I always link to people, where basically they have a professional cult deprogrammer there saying, I deprogram people from being in cults, and it is very similar to MLMs, and here are some strategies that I've used in my professional life. It's a very useful article, so I recommend giving it a read if you ever are in a situation like this where someone you love and care about is in an MLM and you want to get them out.
They literally told me I was going to be a millionaire when really I was losing so much money.
Yeah, and they all do this too, and they pray. I mean, that's literally what it is. It's like stalking your prey. You're looking for someone who, this is why young mothers are targeted with MLMs all the time, because it's like you're looking for a way to stay with your brand new baby or something like that. You'll stalk someone young because they don't know any better, and you know they just got out of 13 years of school. They don't want to go to college and whatever. Not that college is always successful either, but regardless, any excuse to be your own boss, like that's gonna appeal to people who are most vulnerable, and just sprinkle the idea of like, oh, you can make millions. Like, of course people are gonna fall for that when they're vulnerable.
And whenever I would express those feelings to my director, she would always come back at me by saying, oh, you don't support women working for women. You don't support empowerment.
It's not though. That's not what it is. It's like, it's so frustrating. And I was lucky, like with when I was with Lime Life, my upline was never like that, being like, oh, you're being too negative. You're just against women. Like, it's so frustrating because really what this is women who are not looking out for other women. They're just trying to make a buck off of them, and a lot of times that doesn't end up working out, and you just kind of look like an asshole.
I mean, how freaking manipulative is that to market yourself as a company that supports women and empowerment when really you don't give a shit about me or other women that are literally digging themselves into a hole so that people at the top can get richer and richer.
I'm so glad that Natalia is saying all these things because it further validates like our small little anti-MLM community, which is growing by the day. But when you see someone with 2 million subscribers, you know, speaking out about this, there probably are a lot of boss babes that watch her and probably went ham in the comment section. You know, hopefully, you know, Natalia, if you're watching this by some strange miracle here, I hope that you are not taking anything that anyone says in your comment section to heart, especially if they're involved with multi-level marketing companies, because like you said, they are brainwashed and they will say anything that they need to be able to justify what they're doing in their own lives. I'm past the point of wanting to like get the actual stats on this on Mary Kay because I'll be here all day. I wonder if they get like a sign-on bonus, like, because in a lot of MLMs, well, they'll disguise it as like when they buy their starter kit, like you'll get commission from that. But I mean, really, essentially what that is I just signed someone up, because you can't sign up without getting a starter kit. So it's like, I just signed someone up and I got a bonus. That's literally what it is, but it's disguised as a product sale, I guess.
I mean, what would you do if you were thousands of dollars deep into something that isn't really serving you? It's just hard to leave like that, because then you're giving up on it and you're taking the L when you'll never know if it could have turned around for the better.
It's so funny because I was just saying this when I was reviewing in the last video when I was reviewing that crazy Hunbot lady. They push this. It's like, you never know, you know, tomorrow you could get your big break. Like, why would you quit now? You're already so far in. You know, this is a very common thing, and it's again validating to hear Natalia say these kind of things.
One day I decided to check my credit card statement. Yeah, remember all of those months that I ended up purchasing makeup for my inventory so that I could meet all of my goals? Yeah, I didn't realize that my credit card had a 26% interest rate.
Which is awful. Like, that is bad. It's through Chase Bank. So I'm wondering if maybe she just, like, since she was young, she didn't have a credit history really. So I don't know, it just doesn't make sense why they would. I wonder if everyone's in Mary Kay's is that high. But yeah, you can't just leave your credit card unpaid, girl. I mean, we all gotta learn stuff the hard way, I guess.
I checked my credit card statement and I didn't owe $5,000. No, I owed approximately $10,000. I had let that credit card sit completely unpaid for a period of time, and that's what did it for me. And it took me 3 years to get the money to pay off all of that debt, and it was very traumatizing. I wouldn't want it to happen to anyone. Mary Kay, if you're watching this, I am so angry and frustrated with you that you are still to this day taking advantage of people.
Something else to be angry about is that Mary Kay is only one of like hundreds of multi-level marketing companies out there. It's infuriating that there are companies, not just one, not just two, there's hundreds of them, and people continue to fall for them. And that's why the anti-MLM movement is so big, because we're trying to pass the message along that, hey, like, you really should not get involved with these, making people aware of all the red flags so that they don't fall into it. The education is the most important part here.
I'm stepping up. I'm finally making this video on my channel, even though I didn't really want to, because I didn't think you guys would care to hear this story.
We
but
do!
For the small few that could possibly run into this situation in their own lives.
It's not our small few. Like, I mean, I think a lot of us are aware of it now, but a lot of people are not and continue to fall for this. It's especially hard to escape when everyone on Facebook is flooding your feeds with this kind of shit too. Like, it's everywhere. It's not just Mary Kay. It's everywhere.
I'm just very spiced up right now. I needed to share this with you guys. And sometimes I need to make these videos where they're just not planned. I'm not like done up. I'm just being raw and honest and talking to you guys.
I wonder what happened in her life to make her like decide to just be like, you know what? I'm sitting down right now to film this video. Like, I wonder what triggered it. Maybe it was like the whole Rodan and Fields, Anastasia Beverly Hills bullshit, because that was a pretty big talking point for a while. It could be a number of different things, but I just wonder what it was like for her to like not even consider what she was gonna say, just sit down, plop in front of a camera and start talking. It's very commendable, and I'm really glad she did it. I think that's pretty much it here. So I'm gonna end this video by saying, Natalia, if you're watching this, keep doing your thing, girl. Like, I really commend you for stepping out, and also you're kind of the hero that our community needs right now. We need people with bigger platforms to start speaking out, because then the information gets spread around faster, and that's very important. You know, we got a cause, and it's it's making its way up the ranks here, for lack of a better term, I guess, huh? But yeah, I mean, it's crazy because, like, speaking of ranks, you know, I mean, when you have a president of this country who has openly endorsed, like, Amway, and I think other MLM companies too that are, you know, financially beneficial to government agencies, you know, there's a lot of, like, lobbyists involved. So when you have one of the biggest leaders of the free world, you know, speaking positively about one of these companies, I mean, it's not like just a little underground thing, you know, we have a lot of people talking about it, but what we need is more people to speak out. That's what Natalia just did, and I am so grateful. Let's also give ourselves a pat on the back. You know, we're doing great things here, even though the Huns like to tell us that we're trying to go against women owning businesses and whatever. Like, we all know that that's not what's going on, but yeah, it's just really cool to see these kind of things pop up in my YouTube recommendations, and thank you, Natalia, for speaking out. I think it's just cool that this happened. But anyway, I guess that's it. I'll smell you guys later. Keep making waves, babes. Goodbye.